Crash Bandicoot. I love Crash Bandicoot. His franchise includes a lot of solid games, some genuinely awesome games, and some not so great games, but that's okay. As one of gaming's most iconic franchises, Crash inevitably has his fair share of rip-off, bootleg, or fan-made games. So today, for some reason, maybe I just don't like myself, I decided to play 8 of these Crash ripoffs to see how bad, or maybe sometimes good, they can be. In no particular order. First up, we've got an android abomination. Amazing Bandicoot running adventure. I don't even need to show you the game. You can tell from the menu screen alone, this thing is a piece of garbage. But hey, I guess we've got to fill out a video, so here's the gameplay. It's basically the no internet dinosaur game. The character of Amazing Bandicoot automatically moves across the screen and you press jump when he reaches an obstacle. It looks like trash. I have no idea what this background design is supposed to be, but it looks like we're in hell. I don't know why you wouldn't just pick the obvious image of a jungle, but whatever. I played through 14 levels of this crap before deciding the gameplay's not going to change. Even the background image isn't going to change.
It'll never change.
It's a lazy, boring, pathetic load of nothing. What a disappointing way to start the collection. Next, we have Crash Bandicoot. It's just called Crash Bandicoot. This opening screen with the most wide-eyed, terrified-looking Crash imaginable is much more promising than anything the last game had to offer. We start the game and we're dropped into a portal room. The camera seems very close to Crash. I sure hope it's not like this when we're in a level. Unfortunately, it is. This game is much closer to a Crash game than the previous one. You know, it's got all the recognizable features. The jungle, picking up fruit, smashing crates. It's just a shame because, as you can see, it all sucks. The jumping is loose and floaty like it's in slow motion. The spin attack is painfully unreliable, sometimes working against enemies, often not. The level design is lacking. It's just run in a straight line, loosely flying over some shit. And avoiding the frustratingly placed enemies that will kill you way too often because the controls and hitboxes just aren't tight enough until you reach the end. Then there's a space station level with moving platforms. I'm sure you've already joined the dots, but this is a nightmare with the horrific jumping controls. That said, there is something I like about the terrified, gaping eyes design of this Crash. Welcome to Clone Bandicoot. Right off the bat, this thing is broken as we don't even get to play as Crash. The Crash skin that I assume is supposed to be on the character is stuck T-posing off to the side. So instead, we're just this default grey humanoid. I think you can see for yourself from the gameplay how this isn't even a real game. I'd say half-baked, but it's not even that. It's an Unreal Engine project space with some stuff thrown into it. We run through this yet-to-be textured level, destroying crates by running into them and collecting Wumpa fruit. Thanks to Sunlit Team. Thanks for doing what exactly? It doesn't seem like Sunlit Team ever got around to doing whatever their job was supposed to be. I fell down a pit right before the end of the level, sending me back all the way to the beginning. So I guess this checkpoint crate halfway through wasn't a functioning checkpoint. It's just a crate with a C on it that disappears when you touch it. Awesome. So I went through it all again, reached the end, and the game just reset from the beginning. That's it. That's all Clone Bandicoot has to offer. Unfortunately, I won't be able to talk about Crash Bandy for long. Here's how it looks, and yep, that's all I can comment on, sadly, because I was playing it on my PC, and due to the game having a controls layout clearly designed for a touchscreen, I'm incapable of running at the same time as jumping. It doesn't have alternative controls, so it's impossible for me to cross this first gap. I can't get any further in the game than the spawn point. Oh well, I'm sure it's awesome. Time for Crash Bandicoot Godot 20 Games Challenge. It's another one in the category I'll label Trash Bandicoots. These are the ones that follow the traditional Crash formula, but everything sucks. It's another awfully controlling Crash with unreliable hitboxes and weird slow jumping. There's some moving walls to get through, which wasn't well thought out with the camera distance, as you're completely blinded by the wall you just passed if it closes. And this section of crate platforming is a struggle due to it demanding quick quick, snappy directional jumping, which the controls completely lack. I died here quite a lot. Eventually, I cracked the code and figured out it's best to just skip these crates altogether and jump all the way over the gap.
I've got it! I cracked the code!
After some trial and error, I reached the end of the level, bringing us to level 2. Oh, never mind. You win. Thank you. I guess they never tested level 2 and accidentally put the finish line at the spawn point or something. No idea, but I'm not complaining. I'd rather be done than have to figure out how to navigate another broken level of Crash Bandicoot Godot 20 Games Challenge. Speaking of, what do you mean 20 Games Challenge? The game comes with a text file confirming only 2 levels, so it's not like there's even supposed to be more. This file also confirmed that almost all of the game's assets were ripped from the real Crash games, except for the bee, which they modeled on their own. Credit where credit's due, the bee model fits into the aesthetic and doesn't stand out as a model you made. So if the sole purpose of this whole thing was an exercise in modeling a bee,
Good job. Really good job.
Flying Crash Bandicoot is a Flappy Bird clone, except there's no obstacles dropping from the top of the screen, only the bottom. This means you can just stay above them and not do anything and you won't die. There's 2 numbers at the top of the screen, one counting how much fruit you collect and a countdown timer next to Aku Aku. When this timer hits 0, nothing happens. It just keeps counting down into negative seconds. When you collect an Aku Aku mask, it adds some seconds to the countdown clock. What does any of this mean? What's the point of anything we're doing? I don't have the slightest fucking clue. I stayed playing for a while in case there was an end and it was just level 1 or something, but no. This is the game. There's no clear point to anything. Crash Bandicoot World is actually kind of awesome. Right off the bat, the title screen makes it clear this thing was a passion project made by someone who truly wanted to make their own Crash game. And that's how it plays. The controls feel like Crash, running around destroying crates, bouncing to high places, spinning through enemies. This one is actually, it's a Crash game. This is a Crash Bandicoot game. Does it look like a polished studio game? Not really, but it has a much more strong aesthetic than any of the others I've played, and each location feels unique. Even the voice acting and the dialogue sounds like the characters from Crash.
Engine, what's happening? What's that?
That voice is just Cortex. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked to learn it's stolen audio from a real Crash game because it almost sounds too good to just be some fan's impression of Cortex. There's so much detail and love put into this game, from being able to bounce insanely high on the hood of cars, or the wide variety of death animations. It even comes with a PDF guide, which is a nice touch. Yeah, there's some rough edges, and sometimes you'll die in a way that feels a little bit unfair or clunky, but overall, this fan-made Bandicoot game is a ball, and I'm willing to say these amateur Crash games aren't always a bad thing. I'm sure the next one won't bring us plummeting back down to reality. Finally, we have Jungle Bandicoot World. Let's hope we can go out on a bang. I open the game to be greeted by what appears to be a screenshot from Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled with the text, "Please wait, Geeting files and configuration." I wait, and wait, and wait, and nothing happens. This is it. The game doesn't even open. What a shockingly disappointing way to end the video.
I'm done! You hear me?